Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson and his management team did a walkthrough of the Parade Gardens community in Kingston Central Police Division.
I have with me here Assistant Commissioner Graham, who is the Area 4 Commander, and also, who else I have? I have Superintendent Beresford Williams, who is the recently installed Commander of the Kingston Central Division. And I have just behind me Senior Superintendent Steve McGregor, who is well known down here and is the deputy to Mr. Graham. So we've been touring, interacting with some of the people. There's a clear sense that something has shifted in the space. I was down here probably, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and the tension was far more. The people seem to be more relaxed, more open. They've been coming out. We're going to be holding some meetings with the people because we're here for the long haul in terms of getting a change in this or in these communities. And critical to that process is that the people are part of it and are involved. There are a number of young men who know each other, who have been involved in violence and carrying out acts of reprisal violence, even though in a number of occasions they were once friends, went to school together, and at times shared meals together. But that cycle of violence continues and will continue unless we do what is necessary to interrupt it. So launching the zone of special operations here, and also the sort of police and military cooperation that's taking place on the ground, is going to redound to the benefit of the people of Parade Gardens, but also of Rose Gardens and the other areas within the Kingston Central Division. We've had a fair amount of violence here from last year into this year, but so far it has, since the launch of the zone, it has put a dampener on that, which is good, and which is what we expected from it. We have a lot of work to do still. We will be building our relationship with the community. We always had one, but it's very difficult to maintain that when there's a lot of active violence taking place. So this measure allows us to integrate with the community more, and we look forward to all of the other benefits that come with a zone of special operations. But it won't just be targeted here in Parade Gardens, but also we are looking at how we can do other areas like Rose Gardens, into Almond Town and so on, that more of the communities can benefit from any of the intervention programs. So that's where we are. It's good to see that the people are coming out. Life is starting to return to normal, certainly in Parade Gardens here.
Fighting non-communicable disease among JCF members is high on the constable's agenda. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson reminded members of the support available to them by the Constabulary's Medical Services branch.
I will always interrogate the things that are going to be coming into the force to make sure that what we're bringing in will benefit the members who it's supposed to benefit. That the data we capture around these things and the programs we put in place, some of them quite boutique, some of them cutting edge programs, are attributed to the work of the people who are putting them in place. One of the three pillars of how we are moving the force forward, one obviously that deals with crime and public order, one that deals with transformation, modernization, and the third one is partnerships. Because we recognize as a force that without the partnerships that we can create, there's no aspect of what we do that belongs to us alone. A significant part of what we do for our members in terms of the mental health support is that synergy between what medical services does and what chaplaincy does. that merger and meeting of the minds of both departments and how they work together and, you know, deliver to our members a, you know, curated responses to their own issues has led us as a force to have one of the lowest levels of things like suicides among police forces anywhere. The police officer who goes out there to patrol and is dealing with that high violence every day, we also require that officer to shift, having just left the scene of high violence, to shift and to be able to show empathy to a case of domestic violence. The same officer. And then he shifts back and goes to a traumatic event of a major car accident. And then he moves back to the station and somebody comes in and says, I just lost my phone. And be able to take that report because it's significant to the person reporting it, even though in the scheme of what that police officer has been facing in one day or any day, it is just, it's like nothing, but it is not nothing because it in fact impacts our public. And so once it's impacting our public, we must always respond as if it is important, because it is. When you go to a shopping area, do you feel, are you comfortable? Do we give you enough visibility? Are we visible enough in that space? Those are the things that we have to do. So we balance those requirements that impact the majority of the population to deal with the homicides being created largely within very small areas by people who are getting at each other. That's just our reality. Now, it doesn't mean, it means what do we have to do? We have to do all of it. Now, can we do all of it all the time? Of course not. We don't have that. We don't, it's not, we're not large enough a force to do it all at the same time, all being done at the level we would like to do. But that is why we are building out as part of it the size and capacity of the force to be able to do that. That's why we're bringing in technologies that can reach across the force. We're a national police force. We're not a city police force. And therefore, we're extended across the country. Tools like this allow an officer, wherever they are, to assess themselves and allow us to know what is going on across the country. We recognize that we always have to be on our A game. That's what's required of us. How do we do that? Or how do we tend towards that? Is by having our members focused on what they need to do, and we as leaders focus on all the other things for them. We provide the psychological support. We provide the help, and not just to them, but also to the families. This business is not easy on families. And a police officer's family carries a heavy burden. Sometimes the police officer who's involved in the actual work on the road is less stressed than the family who doesn't know what's going to happen. And that's not to diminish the level of stress from doing the work. It just is that the family, that family unit that supports the officers. So thank you to PAHO, thank you to the World Health Organization, and all the people who made this possible. And I'm going to encourage members to use it when it's out there, and check yourself. Make sure that if there is a problem, you check yourself. It's not an embarrassment if it doesn't match what you thought it matches. There is help out there. It can happen to anyone. And all of us may be walking around with all kinds of issues that we're unaware of until it gets too bad. We have the services to support you. Use them, and let us continue to being that force for good in this country. Thank you.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.